welcome back to Ones of the Force, the Star Wars podcast. I'm Phil, of course. I'm joined tonight by Dave, as there is no George.
Hello there, sir. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. You ready to chat some Star Wars?
Always. It's my favourite part of every 2 weeks. So yeah, absolutely ready to talk some wars.
Fair enough. Apparently, we've only just gone live for some reason, so I will just do the intro again, in case anyone missed it, in case this thing has screwed up. Hello, welcome back to Ones of the Force. Phil, Dave, you know the usual stuff. So, yeah, no George tonight. He's off doing something somewhere else. Because apparently we can't do more than one podcast back-to-back without one of us going missing somewhere.
It's weird that life just seems to get in the way more and more as we get these things done and we grow ever closer to the Last Jedi. It's one point we will, I'm sure, be all here again, especially when we get into
the Last Jedi.
Actually, thinking about it, because I know it's going to be weird, because obviously we want to do a podcast after, but you'll be seeing it, I'll be out seeing it till way hours, and I think George is away in London seeing it, so we'll definitely get a review probably the next day.
Probably hopefully. The day of release, because we're doing the double bill into screening for the measly sum of £16-17, whereas George's paying 30-odd quid because he's stupid.
Yeah, that's London, baby.
That's London, and that's George for you, because we shoveled him because he is not here. Yes. As I was speaking to you guys the other day, we realised that we've got next week's the last episode of the first half of Series 4 Rebels, then we've got Battlefront 2, then we've got The Last Jedi, then we've got the second half of Rebels, and then we've got Han Solo. All in about 6 months.
It's absolutely crazy, the speed of which things are coming.
And then, after that, we have nothing for a year and a half. That we know of.
That's fine.
We don't even have a Star Wars celebration next year to look forward to. We have nothing. Next year is barren for us, which is okay, because we'll be
find
recovering.
Something to talk about. I'm sure we will.
Oh, at that point, it'll be original programming, and by that point, I would have finished strong because I've started reading it. George may have picked it up again. Yeah, I'm a chap. Sorry, I've overtaken George. I've been reading it for like a week. It's fine. It's just George is lazy. But anyway, shall we actually do the news?
Yes, let's get into the news.
So the first item in the news is that Disney has spoken to 20th Century Fox about buying them out, as in buying the rights and things, getting the distribution rights back for A New Hope, which is the last film to come back, which would also mean getting the original theatrical releases, which would be amazing.
It came out sort of, I don't know if it was this morning or last night.
Last night, I think,
sometime. Again, Ones of the Force, not the place for accurate timings. But yeah, so it was, it came out and I saw the story. And I mean, obviously, first thing I thought, I didn't even think of A New Hope when it first came out. You think of all the, first thing was, not in this podcast, but Marvel properties returning into that studio, which was kind of cool. And then, you're right, A New Hope is part of that package, the one they're holding on to, which is the reason if you watch any of the digital editions or get any Blu-rays or any DVDs, you get the Fox fanfare now on, especially I think it's just the digital ones at the moment. You get the Fox fanfare only on New Hope, and the rest just going with the black screen Lucasfilm into the film.
Into a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, and what we know and love. No, you'll only get it on A New Hope, which breaks everything up because Disney have got all the other rights. And what it does mean, though, is that the original theatrical releases that were on the was it the 30th anniversary they released those for on DVD back in 2007?
They did, there was a DVD set, and the special feature of that DVD was that you got the theatrical edition as well.
I have A New Hope and I have Empire, but I don't have Jedi yet. Hint, hint.
It's a terrible transfer. It's a pretty bad transfer they took from an old Laserdisc, I believe, or an even earlier DVD that they've pulled that from. So it's not a great transfer. It's in square in the middle of the screen.
It's in 4x3 format. It's in low resolution. It's grainy. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, and don't get either of us wrong. We're not complaining in terms of we love the original theatrical releases. No. And they just need a Blu-ray release. I mean, imagine if Disney got the chance. You can imagine if they did get the rights back, let's say this year or next calendar year, let's say they get them back in 2018, by the time that episode 9 has come out and the last of the anthology films before they go into this next 10-year program, they will have the ability to have cleaned up 4, 5, and 6 in those original theatrical formats, clean them up, make them HD appropriate so they can do a full-on theatrical box set plus a massive box set of 1 through 9, maybe 1 through 9 plus spin-offs. Yeah, they'll milk us. We know we'll pay it. We're like shooting nerds in a barrel here. We know we will pay it. We are suckers, but we love it all the same.
I mean, it's nuts that they will.
And you can't deny it because I've made you buy things the other week, and you
know. Oh,
this.
I know, absolutely. Yeah,
but that
you are an arm twister, sir. You are an arm twister. But yes,
we'll get onto that later.
It is. Yeah,
yes, I'm very excited for potentially Fox to give up those rights. I mean, yes, having Marvel get all the properties back, that's a good thing. That's something that, as just movie fans, as superhero fans, that is a good thing. And actually, as much as I don't like the fact that Disney becoming that big a monopoly in the film industry, because they did outlaw that back in the 1930s after the golden age of cinema and the studio systems, they kind of shut that all down. And unfortunately, that's kind of coming back. But to have all intellectual property in one place is good, although the House of Mouse... well, we'll leave it there because I can then see a cease and desist order coming through my post, and I don't really need that. So yes, Once the Force, the last podcast ever, because Phil screwed up by dissing the House of Mouse. Don't worry, we love you, Disney. Please don't sue us. But yes, so I'm very excited to see that all come back, and also potentially some of the other things. Like, I know the holiday special isn't much loved among fans, myself included. However, maybe getting a Blu-ray version of that would be kind of cool, but having more focus on why they did it, how they did it, like the Boba Fett short, just to have that on Blu-ray. I'll be happy with just that.
I don't know who owns. I don't know if that is with the. I don't even know if that's still with the Fox. Right, it's just in a vault somewhere that George Lucas will never ever open.
No, because he burned it years ago, along with the Ewok movies and all the other that he tacked onto it, and then just vehemently denied ever existing.
Caravan of Courage. That's the one for me.
Oh. Yeah, so that point is where your drink turns into vodka and everything else turns into a blur because you really don't want to remember watching it.
I do want to say, if anyone is watching this live right now, you might be able to see that every so often you'll see my breath in here. I am, as you know, I do my podcast from the garage. You'll see me drink. It's freezing, so you can't see my breath. I have a heater going, and I'm wearing lots of layers. So
I've turned my heater off.
My breath worrying about me.
Yeah, I've turned my heater off because I'm in the conservatory. I don't know if you'd be able to hear the heater or not, but trust me, it's freezing in here as well. But we suffer for all good. Heart.
We really do. But this is for you guys, and us guys. If there's no one else watching, I don't care. We're doing this for us. So it's all good to me.
We've had shows right at the beginning where like 5 people were watching. We just didn't care because we knew that 3 of them were people we knew. Maybe one of them was someone we didn't. And one of us was just keeping an eye on anyone commenting. So we've had that, but we love the show either way, and we love what you guys put into it. But yes, and then talking about Disney, and then they have. I don't know how this came out. I don't know. This is something that I wasn't expecting to come out because this is something that's usually kept quite behind closed doors. Yeah. But I think because of the price hike, I think that's why it's come out. But Disney has set some new terms for cinemas.
Yes, they have.
The Last Jedi, it must be shown on the biggest screen for 4 weeks, and Disney must get a 65% cut of revenue across those 4 weeks, which is unusual because it's usually 55%, if I remember correctly, which it does explain the price hikes in terms of how much you actually pay for a cinema ticket. I mean, George is just all profit because he's paying silly money and we're not. And yes, piracy does have a part to play in that. And unfortunately, when it comes down to things like, I don't know, Rebels, some of us have to watch it through means because we can't.
Yeah, ways and means because we're not,
because we're not in the US. Because, I mean, maybe it would be nice if Disney were to strike a deal with Netflix to put Rebels on their weekly or something, something like that. But that's not the point. The point is they've had to do this hike for a reason. It's not just because they can. Part of it is because they can. Part of it because they.
I was going to say, I think part of it is because they can, because they know this film is going to make $1 billion,
if not more. But what's worse is the conditions. Because if you don't do that, if you cancel any of the screenings, Disney take an extra 5%. Which is just ridiculous. So here's 70% of your profits out of the window if you cancel one screening.
I mean, I worked at a cinema. I mean, you're talking 15 years ago when prices weren't as high as they are now. And that, I mean, at that point, yes, you absolutely know that the cinema aren't making their money on cinema ticket sales. It's very much everything else you buy in there. Your popcorn that costs you £12 and costs the cinema 50 odd pence to bring in.
Exactly.
It costs next to nothing. And even then it was like, we don't make money on tickets. It's tough for cinemas. And I mean, we're probably in a spate now with the summer blockbusters and Disney and Star Wars and Marvel, that yes, people are getting back to the cinema now. I think it kind of ebbed away for quite some time, where a lot of cinemas you found were closing. And but now it's starting to seem to be kind of an upturn, especially summer.
I reckon since probably 2008, with the start of the superhero boom, the golden age of superhero films, and then with Star Wars coming back in 2015, with a lot of, I think it's a reinvigorated film going experience. I mean, people, I think it's more of more of a cultural thing. It's just come back, and it's something that's it is good, as more of an event, but yeah, it is a bit steep, considering you do pay what £16 for a double bill here. You're paying £7-8 usually. You then pay 25-50 quid for amenities at the cinema. It turns into a very expensive night out. And
absolutely,
for Disney to take that much, it is a bit. They bought Star Wars for $4 billion, and they've made all of that back already almost, and it's only on 3 films.
Well, 2 so far, really.
I think it's not even 2.
Yeah. I mean, this pre-sale on Last Jedi has been massive.
It's been insane. There's a lot of hype. I mean, deservedly. I mean, I reckon this could be the best Star Wars film yet.
You can't say things like that.
I can. I can, and I did. I reckon this could very well be the best Star Wars film yet, but we will have to wait and see until December, which is good. Actually, it's in 36 days.
It's absolutely. I've said
insane.
this last week when George was speaking with me, and it is crazy how quickly this thing is coming around. And the fact you're right, we're almost into a month from seeing this movie.
Which unfortunately leads me into the next story, because at this point we go, right, we stay away from social media, stay away from TV spots, because they pump out, and we wait 6 months for one trailer, or 7 months for a trailer, wait another few months for a trailer, and then they drop like 5 TV spots in the space of 2 weeks. And it's begun because the first TV spot was already out. And unfortunately, I caught it, and I just ended up watching it because, I've already started watching it, I might as well finish. However, it is a really good little teaser. The Awaken.
Just Awake.
The teaser with Luke on the Falcon. That's, for me, was the way to say.
Had George been here tonight, to be honest, I had stayed away from this trailer until George let us know he couldn't make tonight. So I thought, well, if I'm going to talk about this with Phil, I'm going to have to actually watch it. And to be honest, it's 45 seconds, so you're not getting masses of new things. But
you're getting about 3 new shots.
You get a shot inside Snoke's throne room, that completely red, gorgeous-looking room.
Oh, it looks stunning.
Very stand out. It does look stunning, but it's very un-Star Wars.
It's different to the... Well, no. It's not very un-Star Wars. It's different to the Emperor's. The Emperor's was black and blue, whereas it's black and red for Snoke. But that red just makes it pop just that little bit more.
It's the same colour as Palpatine's office. That red is
indeed, it does make it pop though. It makes it just stand out. It makes all the bold edges just so crisp. But so for me, it was Luke on the Falcon. Just walks into the cockpit.
That's the shot. I mean, I'm thinking that whole 45-second teaser was really to put that in. We get a bit more because we get the shots that we've already had in the trailer. Kylo Ren smashing the helmet off the wall. And
with the TIE silencer
cruiser
and all the rest of it.
But that shot of Luke on the Millennium Falcon again with his hood up in the cockpit, standing around where we've just seen Han Solo last time getting back, and that was goosebumps. To see Luke again standing at the back of that cockpit was an amazing thing.
I just grinning from ear to ear. It was just so cool. They had to release it alongside, because Entertainment Weekly's just released some photos as well, which does include Luke in the Falcon cockpit. Includes a new shot of Rose and Finn. I think that story arc is one that's going to intrigue me quite a bit, is what they do with Finn and what they do with Rose, played by Kelly Marie Tran, because we've not seen her character before. What happens with her sister Paige, what happens with their mission. They've released all these details, but at the same time, they've released very little. They've done it, this time around, they've done it quite well by releasing a lot, but without giving away lots of details.
Absolutely. And as I say, I'm kind of glad I've watched it now. I say I was staying absolutely away from it, and I was dead against saying it. Tonight, if George was here, I was literally going to mute this for a while until you give me a wave to say we'd finish talking about it. If you might not have done that for the hour, you might just left me kind of sitting on my chair. It would have been kind of funny.
Probably.
But yes, I mean, it's good. And now I think with, 5 weeks and a bit to go, that I think this, I don't think I can, I mean, we're going to have, 2 more shows before we're there?
We're going to have 2 more before we have, before the script. Oh, God, we've only got 2 shows.
Now, I was going to say, I don't know. I was just looking at my calendar. Yeah, I was just looking at my calendar just to see. So I just want to just have a look. So we've got 1. Sorry, this is really boring for anybody listening. I do apologize, but I just want to know.
It's right. While you do that, I'm going to count. I'm going to talk about one thing. We've got also a new international poster for The Last Jedi released as well. But we've had 3 posters released, 3 international posters. One is the kind of the same one we got from Star Wars Celebration, except you got Luke with the blue lightsaber, which is just, it's a very weird thing because it could be throwing us off. It could just be him helping Rey train, because don't forget in the original poster for Force Awakens, you have Finn with a lightsaber, yet that's a complete ruse to get you away from Rey, so we could see something different there. And then you got the new light side and dark side posters, which Luke is in both, and he looks so ominous in the dark side poster. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think it is absolutely throw you off, and that Luke's in that. Of course, Luke's one of the main focuses of the story, so of course we're going to have him both posters, so he's there. Oh, by the way, we have got 2 shows the week after that second show. We will be at the movie, so
we will be doing a special show or something. We can announce that now because we haven't worked out the details yet, but we all know that we'll be discussing it in our private chat over the next couple of weeks and get something sorted. Because we're all going to be very excited and very tired, but almost guarantee at 5 a.m. or something we'll go, right, welcome back towards the Force.
I've taken the day off after, so I'll be ready. It's fine.
Yeah.
I've got a day off. I'll not be going to work. So yeah, we will be doing some things for you guys, and we will talk probably for a couple of hours on the film. And we'll have seen it once, but we will go through the whole experience. I think seeing the double bill especially will make it a bit different to see The Force Awakens just before. I think that will add a lot to seeing The Last Jedi straight after.
It will, yeah.
I would have normally watched the film before I went anyway. I watched Return of the Jedi before I went to see Force Awakens.
Yeah, just a nice little refresher.
Yeah, absolutely. And then hopefully we'll get something awesome between.
Well,
I hope
that's
we get
the excuse
something
anyway. We're going to watch it anyway because we love Star Wars. But yeah, it's just the double bill. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to. The fact it is a double bill. And yeah, I cannot wait for that. But yes, we've got 2 shows, and we'll do some sort of show. We don't know it yet, but we'll do some sort of video, putting it out there, talking about it. Big old spoiler warning because we are, and we will be policing, our page and other people's page, making sure that people don't spoil it. I mean, I said last year I came back from watching Force Awakens, and within 15 minutes getting through the door, I saw someone on Twitter had already spoiled that. Kylo
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you haven't
seen The Force Awakens, which by now you probably should have done, and if you're gonna watch The Last Jedi, you kind of need to see The Force Awakens on this one. It's not like 5 or 6 where you can jump in. This one, no, you really need to because it picks up directly after 7 finishes. But yeah, so I saw immediately afterwards when I got home, someone had put up that Kylo killed Han. I was like, this is like the film's been out like 3 hours. What are you doing? So
I think, certainly our Facebook page won't have anything on, our Twitter won't have anything on, but I will say when we do our review the next day, to be honest, we probably will do a part of it where we'll try and give as much story as we can, but I think, to be honest, it probably is going to be a massive spoiler filled.
Oh, we will whack spoiler warnings all over it. It'll be in capitals in the title. Over our original logo will be just big spoiler alert, and we will say spoiler at the start, and by that point, if you haven't got the message, well,
we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah.
But yes, moving swiftly on, we have got the 40th anniversary and New Hope original soundtrack vinyl to be released, which, it's so pretty but so expensive.
George sent us a picture of this in our chat today, and I don't know anybody else, but I started collecting vinyl only recently again after I got a record player. I thought, you know what?
I started 10 years ago when I was 16.
Wow. Okay.
My first record when I was 16.
See, I was here originally when vinyl was the thing, and then it went away. But it's coming back big time. I mean, I've literally got now.
Unlike cassettes, cassettes can stay dead, but vinyl will live on.
But yeah, vinyl it's a thing of beauty when you get a nice vinyl record. The crackle, you miss the crackle when you hear a sound file that you've downloaded. You really do.
I tell you, actually, you say that. My dad has a program on his computer that allows me to take a vinyl and put it onto MP3s, so I can put it on my phone or whatever. And it can clean up the tracks and it can split the tracks so you can actually have separate tracks. And I went, no, leave it as a full album, including the flip over as well. It's like, wait, you want the hisses and pops? Apparently, yes, I enjoy listening to that.
Yeah.
It just has a warmer sound. But anyway, this is a Star Wars podcast, not a music podcast. What am I saying? But no, it's been released. It does look gorgeous, but it was a tad expensive.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got the pricing on. Yeah, $150.
Yeah,
it's going to come in. It is a 3 LP set. Massive booklet in there as well. I'm just looking at the picture now. We'll put something up on our Facebook after we've done this, so you can actually have a look at that as well. But yeah, 3 albums. It looks like one of them is the hologram that they did with Force Awakens. It looks like Death Star.
That's the more expensive one, just because there is a lot of that goes into making that. Yeah,
there's one with the 40th anniversary logo on, and then just the plain vinyl as well. So it does look like a beautiful set, for $150. That's expensive for a vinyl.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my ranting about Battlefront 2 the other day, pricing last night, but we'll get onto that bit later.
Yeah, we will.
I'll have a rant for that. I mean, it's not Star Wars podcast unless I have a rant about something. But yes, that's coming out soon. I will look into getting it when they release the price in pounds sterling. When they release it in English distributor, I'll get there eventually, to see how the shipping works out, how the pricing works out. I mean, I probably won't get it just because it'll probably be a tad too expensive, but I will look into investigate it when they release it with English distributor and English pricing. But at the same time, I can always go and pick up the regular vinyl from somewhere at some point in time.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, the last bit of news is a kind of sad one. John Mollo, who was the Oscar award-winning costume designer from Star Wars, passed away at the age of 86. So,
I mean, a good innings. He will be missed.
Sure. He will.
When you look, I mean, while we're talking there, I've got up a list of some of his work that he did, the films he worked on. So you've got Star Wars, Alien, Gandhi, all sorts. Towards the end of Jungle Book, Event Horizon, Chaplin. He's just worked on some massive films. I mean, Star Wars and Alien, Empire Strikes Back, Gandhi, massive movies, big, massive bucket of win.
Indeed. So our thoughts and prayers go out to those, his family, our condolences. But yes, that kind of wraps up the news for this week. I don't think we've got anything else to deliver on this one.
No, I think we're all news. Oh, the only thing, but I think it ties in more with Rebels, is that I sent you a link just earlier about Thrawn, but I think we'll talk about that.
We will talk about Thrawn when we get to the ending, because yes, Thrawn. So yes, we will get on to Rebels recap, or as George has titled it this time round, Rebellious Disappointments recap, because George isn't exactly enamored with these past 4 episodes, which is what we're going to cover right now. Disclaimer on these so far: we do have a varied opinion amongst us. We always discuss them in our private chat before we do any of these shows, so that we can get our opinions, we can get our back and forth sorted. I like these episodes, but I don't love them. There's some bits I love in them, but these do feel like filler in a way, and that's something that, Dave Filoni said there are no filler this time round. Like, well, you're lying, sir, because these are quite clearly filler. It's building up. The problem is that this particular arc is building up too slowly for my liking in this series. They've only got 1 series left. They've got 1 shot, and it's the last series. So with this high caliber, they have to amp it up, and I don't think they quite matched it, but we'll get onto that. So episode number 4 is Occupation. Occupation is actually quite a good one, because this particular point they have to go back to Lothal. Ryder gets a message through about the new TIE Defender Elite. They don't know it's called the Elite at that point. Get onto that in Flight of the Defender, which is the episode after this. But a message came out about the new TIE Defender they're building. The TIE Defender, if you just a little bit of a refresh for you, is Thrawn's Starfighter initiative he was launching on Lothal. If you think back to Series 3, if you think back to when Thrawn was first introduced, it's his baby, it's his plan. Krennic and Tarkin, Tarkin being the puppet master of Krennic, is working on the Death Star at this particular point. Vader is working on the Inquisitor initiative, plus the Death Star, plus this, plus everything else. The Emperor's being the Emperor, hiding away, pretending he doesn't have the Force. This is all canon, by the way. Read it in the books, it's cracking. And then, Thrawn is working on this TIE Defender. Now, the TIE Defender again, it's something I love. It's from Legends. It's also from the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game, and they made that before this happened. And I love flying the Defenders. When they made it canon, I just squealed. But anyway, that's kind of a background on the TIE Defender. So Riley gets a message through about the new TIE Defender they're working on, which they will find out is called the TIE Defender Elite. And Ezra manages to convince Mon Mothma to let him go back. And at this point, the entire Ghost crew says, right, we will go. We kind of have to go. But this is, just before that, we have Sabine arriving back home as well. You have everyone arriving on Yavin 4. It's kind of a little bit of a reunion. And then they set off. Now, when the Ghost arrives, they have to meet up with Vizago. Vizago has to get them in with the broken horn because the Ghost can't get through the Imperial blockade, which by this point, for me, I'm loving this. It's just seeing the plight of the Imperial citizens, seeing what actually goes on. If you watch 4, 5, and 6, just as a blanket, if you watch them, the Empire is almost like a wet blanket. It does nothing. It's not really there. There's no great presence because you're focusing on the characters of Luke and Vader, and you're following the story of the rebellion, but you're following the side of them starting to win and starting to work their way forward to taking down the Empire, which now with this new background is a much larger build-up. But if you take 4, 5, and 6 by themselves, you don't have that. With this, though, you get that, and the scene of Lothal, what they've done to it is horrific. It's one of those things that I didn't think they would show it in that much brutalization. You can see half the planet's on fire. It is just, it's all polluted smoke.
Doesn't look like Lothal when they approach. No. Looks nothing like the greeny planet that they left. No. So I know what you mean when you come back, like, oh, but they're going to Lothal. Oh, that's Lothal.
Yeah, and I didn't think Disney would allow them to do that. It's very interesting to see how far they're going with this particular series and where they could end up.
You can see this. You can see it in Ezra's face when he sees his home planet in the state it's in, and the episode started off so well. It's just, we'll get into it once we talk through all the episodes. Our full thoughts, but yeah, we'll get through the episodes first.
That bit was cracky. I love that. And then even Vizago's like, yeah, Lothal isn't exactly what you remember, kid. He's trying to comfort him. He is going, unfortunately, this is what's become. This is the Empire. But that's what I like in Rebels. You get to see this is the Empire side of things. You get to see the standard citizens' point of view. And actually, we'll get onto that later because I have a really weird point to make when it comes to the last episode of this run. But yes, so then they get onto Lothal itself, and then they get onto the final good part of this episode where they go into Old Joe's pit stop, which is the kind of underground tavern. Which now we walk in there, and instead of the cantina thing, they actually have the Imperial March playing, which is hilarious.
I love that part. I absolutely love that they walk in and the Imperial March is playing.
Because that means the Imperial March is canon. Which it's so weird because basically the music you hear playing in episode 5 when Vader's walking on, it's probably someone in a boombox out back who's going, right, the boss is here, turn it on, crank it up. It's so weird, so meta, but I loved it. I cracked up when I heard it for the first, like, wait, are you kidding me? The Imperial March?
It was one of those ones I'm going to go back and just, it really is the Imperial March.
They jazzed it up a little bit. Like it's broken up a little bit, they jazzed up a little bit, but it's so clear the Imperial March. Like, this is just weird. It's so meta and so brilliant. And then you have, behind the bar, you have Baron Valen Rudor, which is a very hard name to say when you try to read and speak and be excited all at the same time. So Baron Valen Rudor, whatever you want to say, is behind the bar. Sabine and Ezra go into this place as Kanan and Ezra are off. Kanan and Hera are off doing something, but not doing something. We'll get onto that a bit later. And Zeb's doing whatever Zeb's doing. And she's locating speed at this particular point. And they get to the bar, and they kind of get spotted on the way out because Ezra forgets to pay for their drinks. He does the usual thing beforehand, trying to charm the bartender, ask about Old Joe, and just finds out, oh yeah, he was just executed, just casually. That's the level that I didn't think Disney would allow them to get to. Is where they go, oh yeah, he's just been executed, just casually off the bat. It's just, oh yeah, he's dead. Which to me was like something I wasn't expected to see happen. But luckily, though, on the way out, when the troopers stop them, they have I'm trying to remember his name.
Ezra's buddy from the Thai school.
Yeah, the Imperial Academy. I have it in my notes. Someone was trying to find it. Jai, that was it. Jai. Jai Kell, when he spots them, goes, Oleg, kind of goes along with it, try and gets them out of it. He tells them looking for them, pays for the drinks, gives the bartender a tip just to kind of help him, just kind of ease the pressure off. And at that particular point, they get out, and luckily, they recognize each other afterwards. And then Ezra and Joey get into a conversation about getting a pickup. And suddenly there's an explosion, and Zeb, Kanan, and Hera pull up around the corner after Zeb kind of cock blocks Kanan, and Kanan's just like, really? Can't catch a break. He's blind. And
it was very much the 3PO on the Millennium Falcon with Han and Leia. It reminded me so much of that moment.
No. It's no. I think because they actually kiss. And my favorite one is when in Force Awakens, where he just cock blocks immediately. Go, it's me. Hello. You might not remember me because of the arm. It just immediately walks straight into it. 3PO, we do love you. But yes, I mean, I do wonder where the hell are 3PO and R2 at this particular point?
Well, they'll be with Antilles, so I guess we don't really need to know their stories now. I think their next viewings in Rogue One when they're at Yavin. So they might already be on Yavin, but Bail Organa's not on Yavin yet, so he's just a hologram, as we see in later episodes. So he's there somewhere. They're in space, hanging around.
That's true. I would like to see them appear before the ending. But they kind of need to be there for Rogue One anyway. But yes, so then they had to run away, get through the sewers. At this particular point, they're trying to seek out Ryder. They end up getting followed, getting shot at. Stormtroopers miss because stormtroopers. And they end up following some symbols of the Phoenix left behind by Ryder, and eventually they meet up. They get into a Ewing and bugger off, and that's Occupation. Occupation was a setup episode. We knew it was going to be a setup episode going into it just because of the way they had set it out, and by the time you get through 3/4 of the episode, they're not really going anywhere. You've had they set up the new TIE Defender, you had all that going on. We were kind of expecting something a bit bigger than what actually goes down. Now we're on to Flight of the Defender. Now, Flight of the Defender for me is split into two very distinct halves. The awesome half of the TIE Defender and what goes on with Thrawn and all the rest of it, and the Loth Cat Wolf kind of shenanigans that happens as well. Dave Filoni finally gets his wolves and puts them in the last series where they're not necessary.
I get why certainly in the latter two episodes
they're more important than the last two.
They're more important.
Sure. And I love the fact they're exploring the Force in other living creatures, not just humanoids and humans. It's good to see other creatures being Force sensitive, purely because it's the living Force. It binds the galaxy, it penetrates us, and it brings us together. That's the whole point of the Force. It's the living Force, so it's in all living creatures. So yes, it's natural there are gonna be some Force sensitive creatures. I just don't think they were used particularly well in this particular episode.
I do love the actual. Let's go back to the beginning of that episode. I think the excellent stealing of the TIE Defender by Ezra.
Oh yeah, we'll get onto that right now because I love the TIE Defender, but I love what they do with it because they actually show it in proper scale this time round. If you notice, watching this episode, the TIE fighters and the TIE interceptors are huge. And it gets back to that episode 7 bit in the hangar where you've got all the TIE SFs hanging on the wall there. They're just massive. They're life size, obviously. And in this, they actually show them in proper scale for once, which is good to see because you kind of always see them in space and they all kind of look... The scale is there, but with the blanket of space behind them, you can't really tell what the scale is. When you see them on the ground and see how long the wings are on the interceptor and how tall the TIEs are, it gives the extra depth of scale. But yes, the TIE, they go, right. They've noticed that, the rider takes them to the TIE, it's a little airfield off there. They're waiting for about 10 hours. Some Loth cats are playing around, which is, they're cute, but again, they're not necessary. And at this particular point, they're right, we need distraction, and that's where the Loth cats then go and distract Stormtrooper, and 2 Stormtroopers just run off chasing 2 cats. I love cats, but this is just not necessary.
I mean, we've done it before with Ewoks, but at least they were like,
useful. They killed stormtroopers.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Lost Cats. The design's great, and they've been there since episode 1. They didn't. Rebels.
They didn't crush an ATST with a log. Therefore, they are not valid.
I'll go with that point.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's one of my favorite scenes from Jedi is that's the logs crushing this chicken walker and it just collapsing. Just yes, all of the yes. I want to know if a small blaster can't will just ding off it. How the hell does a log just crumple it like that? It's so weird. It's brilliant. I love it. But anyway, then we get, of course, classic stop motion from here's a giant actual real life size one to stop motion. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back to life. Anyway, that's a point for another day when we just reminisce lovingly about the original trilogy. Yes, Ryder then describes how it's more dangerous than a normal variety because this is the new TIE Defender Elite. And they go, at this point, they go, where the hell is it? And it just blasts over their head. It does sound cool. It does look cool. It is pretty damn cool. But anyway, so at this point, they need a distraction. Loth Cats run in and go, hey, look at us. We're cute. I'm just going to hit your face and run away now. Come chase me. Here's 2 Imperial Stormtroopers that have blasters and don't shoot them. Probably because they know they'd miss. They did miss as well, didn't they? Yes, they did because they used the Stormtroopers. But yes, they run after these 2 Loth Cats. You have a prototype defender there. You know you're going to get screwed if you bugger off, and yet you run after cats. No wonder the Ewoks beat the Empire. I mean, Jesus Christ. So they then get to the point where Sabine's like, well, we need to steal the flight data box because if we can, then we can get all this useful information back to Rebel Command. Very valid point. At this particular point, though, Thrawn arrives. Yay! Thrawn says 2 lines. Oh. But at this point, they realize they kind of need to steal the TIE Defender Elite. And, well, they do. And it is epic because they fly around just destroying things.
It looks that it's such a good ship, and you kind of know the story's going to lead to where they can no longer make these ships for some reason or another, because they would, as they say, I think it's in the next episode, that if this ship got out, once they get they would lose.
If this was a Yavin, they would have lost ridiculous. This is BBY. This is before the Battle of Yavin. If they have these at the Battle of Yavin, they are screwed. At this point, Darth Vader doesn't go out with 2 TIE fighters. He goes out with 2 TIE defenders and annihilates Luke. That's how this works. So they have to get rid of them. So this is how, of course, it's kind of like stealing Death Star plans, but in a very smaller scale. They need to steal the plans for a TIE Defender. Actually, they did steal the plans a couple of series ago. Was it last series they stole the plans originally?
They got the plans, but they didn't have the actual full readout of what
the weapons
can do
and its shields. Yes. In fact, it's got missiles. There's a TIE with missiles and shields. It's ridiculous. But yes,
up until this point, the episode's great. Well, it
gets pretty cool afterwards because at that point, Thrawn goes, right, hit the kill switch. So it gets disabled. They fall out the sky. Only one wing left on it. If you remember back when they were at the academy and the wings came off, that happens. It's kind of cool. And then, yes, we then get to this point. Now, up until this point, these 2 episodes have been
I like
really
the idea
good.
of them, yes, taking out the hyperdrive and
that was good for the U-wing. That was cool. They need to get out of Lothal. They're setting up the escape. That's kind of cool. Following a white Lothcat again, kind of samey. Getting to a wolf that then magically puts Sabine asleep is just weird.
Yeah, the manifestations of the Force in all this media that's outside the movies, be it in Clone Wars where you've
cracking. Some I just can't stand. For me, I hate the arcs of the I always forget their names as well. The father and the
Mortis trilogy, yeah.
That's it.
Whereas
I hate them.
I love that. So one day we'll have that discussion. I think we'll have a sit down about that.
The good thing for that is that afterwards, it's it was all a dream factor. So you can forget those 3 episodes ever existed. You get to watch them. It doesn't change the storyline. It's great because no one remembers anything. So it's absolutely perfect. And then Darth Bane. Then we don't see what happens with Darth Bane, which sucks. I would love to see more Darth Bane. I want a book on that. Lucasfilm, if you're listening, book, please, on Darth Bane. Canon book on Darth Bane. I want one. But yes, so, they steal the hyperdrive and hide it away. And, they follow the White Lothcat. Sabine doesn't see it. A Lothwolf comes along and they kind of get a lift out of there, basically. That's
how the ending of that episode is. Like, oh, he's the wolf, Sabine's asleep, and it takes us here, and it disappears. No one else sees it. But it does say the one awesome thing that I missed first time is exactly. Well, it doesn't say it doesn't say Doom though. That's what I thought it said. It says Doom. It's Doom. It's Kanan's real name.
Yeah, Caleb Doom. It's D-U-M-E.
Yes, sorry. I thought it was Doom as in Doom, but
it
wasn't.
No, that's what I think it genuinely is. He says in the next one, we'll get onto that, what he actually says and think. I think it's actually is Doom as in D-O-O-M. I think they're
sir, subtitles. If you put it on, it is Kanan's surname.
Oh, damn it.
Yes, sorry. I could literally, I watched it back. Some other people have put up as well when it's subtitled. It is Doom as in Kanan's name.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so occupation, flight defender. Occupation, good. Flight defender, half good. Second half, oh my god, what the hell do they think they're doing?
Yeah,
it feels filler. It does feel filler. I'm not going to lie. I love it, but I think it feels filler.
It's just that 2 episodes and the next 2 we're going to talk about as well feel like they very much could have been
2 episodes. They could have condensed those 4 into just 2 episodes.
2 episodes, and because we're only getting, I think, 15, 16 episodes this season. We're not kind of so we're not.
We're halfway through.
It's crazy. So I mean,
we are halfway through.
To be getting episodes that aren't full of everything we need. I mean, the next episode that's coming up looks like we're going to start getting into some serious stuff. We'll talk about that after we've talked about these other 2 episodes. Yeah,
so
but
we'll talk about Kindred first.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so Kindred. Kindred, it starts off with Kanan just kneeling and meditating. Hera comes up, tells them they've already left to retrieve the hyperdrive. Sprite didn't go with them. It's kind of like he's talking about how surprised how they always seem to come back to Lothal, how they're drawn to Lothal. I kind of wonder if they're all designed to meet Ezra. We kind of know that's what's going on anyway. They could have just ignored that bit. At the crash site, the TIE Defender Elite, though, Governor Price, which actually, if I've been reading Thrawn, is actually her rise as well as Thrawn's is quite interesting. But she informs Admiral Thrawn by hologram that she has the site's been secured, but the prototype's flight data recorder, which they're trying to get back, and the hyperdrive are missing. And they've probably hit it nearby, so they've ground up themselves Price sending some specialized help to locate the rebels, which is where we have Rook come in. Now, Agent Rook is voiced by Warwick Davis, but you can't tell because they've used a voice modulator, whatever. George doesn't like the voice. I like it, but I like the character more, though. I think, for me, so far, it's been Warwick Davis' best character in Star Wars.
I mean, let's not discount Wicket, but I know what you mean. The voice thing, I think if you'd left it to just him speaking, it's very much, Warwick Davis' voice so well, that it would stand out. Oh, that's Warwick Davis. I think it needed something on it. It does seem like a very basic modulation of the voice.
It is. It's not talking Death Troopers bad, but it's just. Because that's the point. Yeah. Because I missed out the last show due to work commitments, I wasn't able to chime in on that rant. But trust me, talking Death Troopers is fine. Being unable to understand them, not okay. It just took me out of the episode. Like, where the hell's Death Troopers I love, where you can't understand a damn thing they're saying? They just sound cool, look cool, and just are cool. Mute them when they're on screen. They're just amazing. Unmute them when you're watching Rogue One because they are just scary and so good. They make Clone Troopers no. For me, I love the Clone Troopers are my favorite. Death Troopers are second, but my God, they run a close second. They're so cool. Talking Death Troopers, no. Oh dear. Anyway, back to this. So Rook comes along and starts to chase them. What annoys me in this particular bit is when they're flying through the canyon on the speeder bikes, the tanks and everything. They kind of distract him, and it's kind of the chase is really cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Rook then shoots a XX-23 tracer onto the back of the bike, and they don't notice. And it's one of those annoying things where you really would have thought they would have noticed it. It's a bit too convenient.
It's classic getaway. I'm going to track you material. Yeah. It's always the way. I'm just going to put a beacon on here that no ship will ever detect.
Yeah.
Boba Fett put a trace on the Millennium Falcon, and they didn't have a clue. And it seems no matter what you put on ships, people don't even know. There's nothing reads. No. You would think someone would design by now. We've got a funny readout.
Indeed. I mean, don't get it wrong. It's classic Star Wars. I do love it for that factor because, it's very much classic Star Wars and very much, here's a trace you can't see, don't know about it. Oh, look, here we are. We found you. And that's definitely what it is. So at this point, then you get to escaping with the data. Jai and Ezra get back to the rebel camp. At this particular point, they then realize because they've been followed because tanks appear, the same tanks you get in Rogue One. I can't remember the exact name off the top of my head, but those tanks are really cool. However, they move a lot faster than this than they do in Rogue One. A bit too fast, if you ask me. Again, that's just a pernickety. But yes, they go, okay, we're screwed. There's the other point. Zeb steals a transport to help get the hyperdrive back. Doesn't tell them, so he nearly gets his head blown off. It's like, I should have mentioned I kind of stole an Imperial transport. Like, well, yeah. But it does lead up to the phone and say, well, we've still got a transport and some bikes. How many people are we going to fit on bikes? That is funny. That is one of the funny bits, and what I do love about the humour of Rebels that you don't really get in the movies, so they haven't got time to put that in, whereas Rebels, you get to expand the characters. But yes, so they got Thrawn and Rook chatting away, which is good. I can't wait to see how their dynamic pans out. And then the Wolves' assistants. So, okay, I like the expansion of the Force into living creatures, but being able to teleport halfway across the planet and not knowing how the hell you get there, that's a bit much. Yeah,
it's it's a great thing that finds them and it takes them through, and it's this manifestation of the Force. But yeah, to move them halfway across a planet without, and you get in Ezra's eyes, it looks like hyperspace.
It does.
So, but how that, it doesn't kind of give you any explanation. They're just then on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, we don't get. I kind of missed at the point. At this point, they're in the mountains because they're having to retreat away from the Empire, who then send TIE bombers in. One of them is voiced by Vanessa Marshall. Funny enough. So she's playing both Hera and a TIE bomber pilot, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so you get in, get across. They wake up the other side. No one knows how the hell they get there. But then they talk about the wolves. Ezra and Kanan talk to them, and of course. It says his birthday, Caleb Doom, which Ezra wasn't shocked at for some reason. I don't know if he ever knew his real name. I need to go back and.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he is. I need to go back and check up on that bit. But yes, then they ask if Hera escaped properly. He replies he knows they did. She knows she did. And then we get on to the next episode. That one, I must admit, just felt so much filler. It was just, here we have our stuff. Cool, we've moved halfway across the planet. That was literally the episode. Rook, I'm waiting to see what they do with him. Thrawn so far has been a complete wet blanket this series. He's had 5 lines, and I'm waiting for him to step up because I want to see more. But we'll see where that happens when it comes to Rebel Assault next week. But we'll get onto that in a minute. So that was Kindred. Now we're on to Crawler Commandeers. That's my least episode so far. It's good, but it's got one good moment. One very good moment. In
essence,
did we miss out the kiss? Was that in that last episode? It was, wasn't it?
Yes, it was in
Kindred. That's how meh the second half was. I missed out my favourite part, which is where they finally kiss, which for me seals his death warrant. It really does. But it's something we have been building up for 4 years now. It's got to the point where they can't cock block him enough. It's got that bad. It's like, right, we all know, just let them get on with it.
I think we mentioned this as soon as it happened. The moment they kiss, then...
Don't get me wrong, I nearly cried in happiness. I was so happy they finally did that. It was such a good moment. It's been building up for 4 years. For me, I was just happy that happened. But,
it's just that it now leads us to think that definitely one of those characters are not getting out of this alive. And we know Hera is, because in Forces of Destiny, if anyone is watching, the last one of the episodes they showed recently, Hera's there after the Battle of Endor.
Well, that also on the Ghost. Drop in Rogue One.
But but I was saying even further on than that, she's still there.
She's in Endor,
still alive. So I think this does spell very much the Kanan will be
which is good for me. I
unfortunately gone
want
by the
him
end
and
of the
Ezra to
episode.
die purely because, no other characters have to. Those two have to because, or else the entire arc of the original trilogy is kind of mutant. Yeah, because Yoda's whole thing is there is only one. It's Luke by the end of it, but he goes, well, we only got one hope left after that, which is Leia. That she's the only other Force sensitive. At that particular point, they're down to their last cards.
Something's got to be done. I mean,
Yoda has spoken to Ezra and to Kanan. He knows of their existence. Ezra has been trained from an earlier age. You have a fully blown master and apprentice. If they don't die, they would have been better choices to take down Vader and the Emperor.
You would think, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out. I'm
we'll
very
see.
intrigued.
We are just kind of at this point. I'm just spitballing, going, well, "This is how I think it could pan out," but we reckon they're dead. But yes, so we'll get on to Crawler Commandeers. So yes, I forgot about the kiss. That's for me was the biggest moment of that episode. But still, that's how the second half was. I forgot about my personal favorite moment from that episode. So the Ore Crawler. Oh, right. We'll get onto this. This particular point, they know they need to get off Lothal. They need to kind of get away. They need to get back to the U-Wing. Or they just basically get the hell off of there. So for some reason, they end up on a Ore Crawler, which is what's been destroying the top half of Lothal, because they're in the southern hemisphere, they said. So they kind of break into this thing, and unfortunately, the captain. I'm going to start off with this. I want to get this rant out of the way. I cannot stand Seth Green's voice as the captain. It annoyed me from the start. I hate the character. I cannot stand his voice. He's okay as Chris in Family Guy, but everything else he does, I just find his voice irritating. And it was so... It's so noticeable. It's just... don't like it.
If you got the character, it took me a little while to actually place the voice.
Yeah.
For a little bit of time. Certain words I was like, okay, I know who it is now. He played a character. He's been in the Clone Wars as well, so he has been around Star Wars for a long time. The Detours series that him and the Robot Chicken guys made, which has never ever been seen, bar a trailer. But even apparently there's like 20 odd episodes of it out there waiting to be shown. But yeah, I didn't mind it so much. It was just more of this story. I do like that the Bosk race aren't just all... They don't all look like Bosk. Yeah, they can look like pretty much any lizard. I do love that.
Well, they have it in... if you add to Clone Wars, I can't remember the name of the pirate that steals R2 and recovers R2. That he's in Trandoshan, but he's completely messed up in the face.
So I really like that, yeah.
Yeah, this is a smaller Trandoshan, not a complete... But they relate back to it being, them slavers. Because as they chase him around the ship, they then find out that there is the slaves on board down the bottom, and one of them is Vizago.
Yeah, and all of that massive ship, and there's like 4 people on board. I mean, don't get us wrong, the design of that thing, that the cruise that like scorching the earth, basically.
Actually, the animation on that is incredible. Like the flames, the flowers. It's so realistic, so well done. The animation, I have to give them credit on that, is incredible. It's so beautifully done.
As a piece of machinery that is scorching this
actually
planet.
As well, if you look at Vizago's jacket with all the little dirt spots and everything, the animation has come on so far, and it's so beautiful. I just wish the actual episode was good.
Yeah, it kind of is this chase around this vessel, and then
whilst Hera tries to convince Mon Mothma to let them go and attack the base.
Yeah, that's the more interesting side of it.
I wanted more of that.
Yeah, the discussions on if they're going to let them go to Lothal, if they're going to mount an attack. Obviously, they're saying the lack of ships and things like that. And that's where my interest was held in the episode, when it went back to the cruiser and them trying to get off. You're right, it was very much... there's not a lot else happens other than they decide that, they finally get a signal out, because that's the whole point they're trying to get to it. There's a transmitter on the top of the ship where they can actually get a long-range signal out back to the Rebel base. And they do it. There's a fight between Zeb and the Bosk-looking creature.
The Trandoshan, yes. The wrestler.
Yeah. It just...
Conveniently, Zeb and this Trandoshan actually do proper wrestling. Like, you've got a body slam, you've got a power bomb, you've got a tombstone, basically. It's a proper like WWE match in Star Wars. It's really weird, but it kind of works. But the whole point there is, at this particular point, Hera's handed over the flight recorder data, handed over everything she has, and going, look, can we go and please destroy this fighter? Because if not, we are screwed. And eventually, she just leads up to her bursting in the room, going, look, we need to go and do it. And then they say yes. Then you get the communications where they go, right, okay. Sabine finally gets a message out throughout all of it. The Empire comes and goes, cool, anyone here? No, okay, we're just going to check one cupboard, won't check the other one. And then walks off. It's that kind of meh. It really is. The Empire just doesn't do their job.
That literally is. It's hard to kind of keep talking about it because there's not much more to it than that.
No, because the problem is the biggest part of the episode is Hera being allowed to take a squadron of fighters to go and destroy the TIE Defender factory. That's huge. That is actual story-making material. That's what we want to see, is the plight of the rebellion, not here's a mining guild ship that has slavers on it. Which, by the way, this is my point I was going to rant on. What the hell do they say when they go, yeah, we'll take down the big purple beast? What are they going on about? It's the slaves at the end. If you don't realize, you have the Rodian who says, yeah, well, we will take down the big purple beast. Like, Empire purple beast? This makes no difference. Future armor beast of a billion backs, yes. This, no, makes no sense. Let's talk about Rathtars for some reason, which, okay, fair enough. Then we're going to take a Rathtars or a Rancor, then so be it. But yes, that was those two episodes, and we are leading up to Rebel Assault and Allegiance. Now, Rebel Assault is, of course, I think that's going to be the biggest episode so far. Rebel Assault is the last episode. I don't know if that's going to be a full-length one. I think it might be 40 minutes at that one. But that's the attack on Lothal and attack on the TIE Defender factory. It won't be an attack on Lothal itself, though. That's the thing. They know they can't rescue Lothal. They're just doing what they can. How that's going to pan out, I reckon we could see our first major character death.
I honestly don't think they're going to kill anybody at all until we get the last two episodes.
No, I reckon they'll kill someone at the midpoint, give them a recourse to go, right, we need to step it up. Revenge. We'll see. I mean, it's not been as good as we wanted it to be so far, I have to admit. The first four episodes were amazing, and these last four have been okay.
Other than the Saw Gerrera episode, to me, it's all been a fairly poor series. And I was so looking forward to this. It's the final season. Filoni's finishing exactly how he wants to finish it, which is great, but I've been pretty bored by most of the episodes, which is a horrible thing. I love
the first Rebels four I've loved to bits. And yes, especially the second two, so episode 3 and episode 4 with Two Tubes and Saw. That was kind of cool. The Mandalore arc I did love, except that they should have killed Sabine's mother and brother, and it was kind of just a meh point where they went, okay, we're done now. After years build up, they went, okay, we're done after 2 episodes. That was bad, but the after 2 episodes were good. Anyway, we shall now move on from Rebels. We are looking forward to Rebel Assault next week, and next year I reckon it'll ramp right up towards the end. I reckon the second half will be much better than the first.
It has to.
It has to pick up. We'll be still left off on a high of Battlefront 2 and Last Jedi. Star Wars, there's no Star Wars this week. The books have all been announced. I know you guys talked about them in the last episode. I didn't pick up Phasma. I haven't picked it up yet, but I have picked up Leia, Princess of Alderaan by Claudia Gray, because the work she did with Bloodline was incredible. I cannot sing that book's praises enough. Trust me, I love that book. You guys know this. So we'll move on to Toy Shelf and New Pops, which is where we would have George talking about things, but he's not here. So yes, we've had the Leia and Luke on speeders. Now the Luke is a chase one, a possibility of 1 in 3. I've heard 1 in 3 or 1 in 6. George is going to buy a case of 6 just to try and find one, because George is horrifically addicted to them. I mean, like, it is like proper crack to him. It's plastic crack. He loves it, or vinyl crack in this case. I prefer to listen to my vinyl than just to look at it, I must admit. But these won't go by record player. I don't know why.
Yeah, I just think the pops that are coming out, I do love the put them on the speeder bikes and the glass. I think the chase thing is kind of difficult because you want that, and then, like George is saying, you have to buy a box to get a Luke. And that seems, or you go on eBay and you pay a massive amount.
You pay well, to be fair, when we were up at Force Friday, I managed to grab the Porg one.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, there's a few coming out, and we've got
we got the movie moments as well.
The movie moments, which look, this is really
those look cool. Those look really cool. I want the Death Star duel, because the Death Star duel, the Cantina scene, you got the Death Star trash compactor and you got the droids. The droids look cool, and the Death Star Cantina. Well, Death Star duel looks amazing.
Yeah, the trash compactor is the one for me. I think with Luke and Leia inside the trash compactor looks awesome. But yeah, so there's to be honest, there's not a lot happening with Toy Shop at the minute. Again, I was saying to George last week. I think we're in that time period now, where between now and the release of the film,
nothing will come
we're
out.
not going to get very much because they're waiting for everything they've got held back. That's full of spoilers and the rest of the story for Last Jedi. We're going to get a massive influx and wave of toys as soon as that hits. We do have the new toy box figures, which are based on the old Disney Infinity. Now, anybody who hasn't had the Disney Infinity figures, they were just little collectors that you played them. There was a toy box, you put them in, the characters would appear on screen. That got killed off last year. By Disney said there was no more. But the figures, I think a lot of people have got the Star Wars ones, certainly have like collected those figurines. So they've now decided to bring out some figures in that design, in that style. They are... The only thing that bugs me about them, they are taller than the Infinity figures, and they are posable.
Oh, are they? Yeah.
So they're actually a different line of figures.
They kind of improved it then a little bit.
Yeah, they've made them...
same design ethos, but they've just improved the design to make it more of a figure than an actual something for a video game. The wave one is Kylo, Rey, and Stormtrooper.
Yeah, they say that it bugs me because I've got the original one, so I would have liked them to have kept the same sort of line. But you know what? That's what they want to do. They're going to, if they bring up more of these, I'll probably get those too. So that's
they do look cool. Dave, the smaller the better for you. We all know this. So then after that, we've got games. Battlefront 2 is coming out next week. I personally can't wait for that, although my laptop is getting repaired currently, so I can't do anything about that. I've got to improve the RAM and then pay horrific prices to play the game because it's 70 goddamn quid. 70 quid.
It's a lot.
It's steep. Now, yes, the DLC is free, but I have to use the air quotation marks there if you are listening in, purely because the actual buy-in price is so high, you know they factored the DLC into that.
Yeah, I mean, well, of course, because they're giving out so much material after sale, and they're not charging for it. Yeah, they are going to put a premium on this, and they're going to make their money on this game. It's going to be massive. So I get it.
It's just between paying 60 and paying 70. It's just I'll pay 70, but it's just it's a chunk. It really is. However, they've confirmed all 14 heroes and some of the DLC is leaked. Have you got the list in front of you for this?
I believe George did send me this.
Yeah, we do have it here.
You may have to get it yourself, as I do not have it.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
But yeah, so I mean.
Here, so yes, on release you've got Yoda and Maul, and then you got Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, Lando, Vader, Emperor, Boba, Bosk, Iden Versio, Kylo, Rey, and then you've got the rumored ones are Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, Jango, Dooku, Grievous, Krennic, Jyn, Finn, and Phasma. Finn and Phasma have actually kind of already been confirmed anyway, but actually they have been confirmed. They were confirmed a little while ago. But yes, so those are your new heroes coming out. A lot of them we haven't seen before, like especially all the prequel ones, like Yoda and Maul, and Lando's kind of cool to have in there as well. Jango would be kind of cool. Dooku, can't wait to have that. And Grievous I'll love. Grievous will probably be my favorite that I'll use. But yes, that's kind of what we got coming out for that. I mean, I can't wait for the game. It looks incredible. Apparently, it could be discounted the weekend of the Last Jedi release, so I might wait till then just because I've got to pay for Christmas and everything else. And I work freelance. I don't talk about what I do online. I won't tell you what I do, but I do work freelance. I've got to be careful with the money, so I don't know if I'll be able to pay it straight away. But if it's discounted, then I might be able to pick it up. But yeah, we'll see. I'll pay the premium, but it's going to be awesome.
I can't wait for it. I mean, you know me, I'm not going to play the online stuff, but I do want to play through the first play. I know George has got this on pre-order, so he will get it, and will give us probably a full review of everything that is in that game. He's very good at this kind of thing as well. I know you're as well, so you play these to death, these games, and
indeed, I cannot wait.
What comes out of it? It's not long. Is it this weekend the game's out?
Next weekend. It's
next weekend, but on pre-release, I think some people get
November 17th. Yeah, they get it on 14th. It's next week, November 17th. But yes, so that's Battlefront 2. And then we also move on to the reason why I definitely can't afford it, because I spent too much money at Comic-Con. So yes, this week's Cantina Talk. George was going to join me on this one, but unfortunately he's not here. We had Comic-Con a couple of weeks ago. It's one of the reasons why I couldn't join, because I had work and then I had to pack and leave. I finished work at the 8, which is when we start anyway, so I couldn't get on even if I wanted to, which I did because I love this show. But yes, so Comic-Con was the weekend. George did go up. He met Brien Herring, who, if you don't know, is the puppeteer for BB-8, and he only bought 4 pops, not 14.
And also, was it Brien Herring? He said he actually watched the making art. Was it that guy who said watched the making art documentary that George did?
Documentary, yes,
which is awesome.
Which is cool. Yeah, it's kind of us. We're known now. Well, George is known.
George is there. It's amazing that George. Yeah, it's something that George made, and it's been seen by someone who's worked on the Star Wars movie. That's an awesome thing. You got to meet him, and he told him about that. And he said, "Oh yeah, I've seen this. That's an awesome thing." But yeah, I mean, I didn't get to go. George went, Phil went. I kind of got stuff from there. But yeah, just tell me about Comic-Con. Tell me about Comic-Con.
Comic-Con was awesome. I cosplayed. I always do. This time around, I cosplayed as Bodhi from Rogue One. I didn't get the chance to fully do the cosplay as I wanted to, but I still had everything done. I had code cylinders. I had my overall sword. I had code cylinders. I had the Imperial symbols done. I had everything touched out. It was a pretty wicked weekend. And I may have spent a little bit on Star Wars stuff. So the first thing I do, I get there and immediately I'm looking for Rex. Robin, my friend who you've seen on the show before, he and I wanted to buy the Rex, and I had to pick one up for Dave anyway, which is beautiful, that figure. Oh, it's stunning. But we couldn't find out for a while. We were looking around and we found Kapal, who had the Thrawn figure there from SDCC. And I was looking at it, and they were selling it for 50 quid. Now, remember, retail was £90 on this, and they had it for 50. The box was damaged slightly because, well, that's the non-mint versions. The mint ones were all stupidly priced at 90 quid. These ones are now, as on their website, they're still 70. And this was 50 for show price. Like, yeah, I'm having that immediately. That's mine. Yeah, I need that in my life. And then I kind of may have convinced Dave to buy one as well.
It didn't take much convincing, to be honest. I mean, yes, it was day 2. And
it took a little bit of convincing.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. And I was like, no, I have to have it. And they
actually had 3 left at the time. I found out after they had 3 instead of 1, but they only had that's left. I think they've only got 2 left on their website now. Anyway, that's all, they brought their entire stock with them. I bought some of them, and I also went back and bought Poe's helmet as well. So I've now joined the club. The other 2 have got them, and now I've got it. I was a bit annoyed that it isn't a Bluetooth headset. I thought it was, but well.
It still looks cool. It's still awesome.
It is incredible. Yes, no, I can't wait to actually convert. Because I'm converting it into a proper Bluetooth headset. I've already talked to the guys about my plans. I'll talk about that more later on when I have the opportunity to do it. But yes, along with that, I also bought the 3-pop. Adele got me the 3-pop exclusive set, which was Tarful, Unhooded Emperor, and the Spal Clone Trooper. That was really cool, so I picked that up. What else did I pick up that was Star Wars related? It was that, plus Thrawn, plus Rex, and a couple of things as well. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I spent a lot of money, but it was good. I had a great time. Yes, what else did I pick up? I know it's in
the con itself looked really good. I mean,
it's fun. The guests are picking up, and they had quite a few guests. They had Guy Henry there. I was going to meet him. A chance. Julian Glover was there. So you had General Veers, and you had Grand Moff Tarkin, and he had so many stars there. It was a really good weekend. Hopefully next time you'll be able to join us.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I've not been to anything like this since Celebration. It's been a long time since I've been to get to something. So hopefully I'll get to one next year, especially if they're going to start rebranding now. ReedPop are going to be doing the conventions. So I'm hoping that I'll certainly get down with the guys, and hopefully we'll get to meet up at some point, the 3 of us, and do something together, which would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, to get to the point, really, it was the Rex Black Series figure is awesome.
It is stunning. I also picked up Black Series Vader. That's the other one I picked up. I finally got Vader for my collection, which was wicked. But for 15 quid, I kind of just twisted Kapal's arms when I've bought so much from you. Please give me money off. Adele bastardized this, and they get for 15 quid. But the Thrawn was incredible. That's the thing. I spotted that, and it was because the thing, we all loved it when they originally announced it. If you go back and watch what is it, episode 13, episode 12, something like that, when we were originally looking at it, going, "Wow, we want these. This looks awesome." They had I nearly picked up the X-34 because they had the X-34 and they offered it to me for 90. I was so close to picking it up. I didn't. I wanted to, but I picked up the helmet instead because they offered me for that for 60. I was like, "Yeah, I'm taking that. 60 quid for the helmet when these guys pay 75 quid. Hell yeah!"
Yeah,
fine.
it's. But the throne, I mean, I wasn't expecting. I mean, you sent it over to me, which it got here. It's in not perfect condition, but they weren't. The more Phil said, the mint ones had gone very quickly. Yeah. So it's some dings in the box. There's nothing bad.
Nothing major.
Once you display it, but I was absolutely shocked by the size of this thing.
It's huge.
It is massive. It stands on my shelf, yeah. And the throne's awesome in it, and the accessories.
I didn't realize he had a lightsaber.
Yeah, lightsaber. I don't know whose it is, but there's a lightsaber hilt in there.
You've got the lightsaber, you've got the Holy Grail, you've got the Kalikori, you've got the stands, you've got the Chimeras above. It's so well done.
It is an awesome set, and I say I'm so glad I didn't jump out and pay £90 for it, because, like Phil said, we were kind of willing and kind of half there that we might.
No, we were. Then we saw the price and went, okay,
yeah,
we had a
massive
massive on the show. We went, all three of us went, we love it, but that's a rip-off.
But yeah. To have it now, to own it, it sits on top of my shelves. It's taking pride of place. I absolutely adore it, and I'm very thankful that Phil picked up and told me that was there.
Yeah.
So I own Rex as well. So they're both things that I really wanted.
Yeah.
The design, hopefully, with the digital
digital painting, because Rex is the first digital painting, and it's incredible.
That hopefully we'll get more of that way back in the Black Series now. That
we will be with
like
Dengar, Forlom. Return,
Calrissian
Last Jedi Rey, Skiff Lando. Those ones that have been announced recently, those have been the digital painting. I also picked up Gree the other day as well. So now Clone Commander Gree to my Rex. I think I sent it over to you guys. If not, I'll send it in a bit. No, I did the other day. So I have now Clone Commander Gree along with Rex. I have the front of my cabinet now has Gree, Rex, Vader, and Kylo Ren. So I have like the original trilogy, like all three trilogies lined up. It's brilliant. But yes, Common was amazing. And I picked up many Star Wars things. So I'm going to pick up many more because we've got Empire Day, Dave Prowse Empire Day coming up, and the SW40 con coming up as well. So hopefully we're going to that.
So yeah, I mean it's all good. I mean, to be honest, we've kind of filled a lot here because there's not a lot of news out there. We
basically ranted on Rebels quite well because we've been on for an hour and 20.
Yeah, so I think we'll bring this all to an end. But we're in that time period now. We've got 2 more shows, so we'll have a show next Wednesday where we'll be talking. I'm sure the show the week before, I think it's the 8th of December, we'll be fully talking about the
Last Jedi and our plans and what we're going to do and how much we're looking forward to it, and then the nail biter week before as we're going, oh, it's finally here, what's it going to be like, and then it'll be afterwards. We will have all news coming up, we'll have discussions, we'll have posts, just basically keep an eye on our Facebook page and our Twitter for announcements of what we're going to do. And we also thanks for downloading on iTunes and SoundCloud. We don't know how many of you out there listening to it, but we can see the numbers on YouTube. We know that the show's grown over the year, and we're grateful for it. Just keep your eyes peeled. Look on Facebook, look on Twitter. We'll tell you what we're doing when we're doing it. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, I'm all. Yeah, I'd love to say there was more news, but there's not a lot until Last Jedi hits. But I'm sure we'll find something to fill the next episode with, and then we'll
find plenty. But actually, we'll have the last episode of Rebels to talk about. We'll have Battlefront 2 will have been released, so we can talk about the campaign mode. There's plenty to come up on the next episode, so you've got all that to look forward to. But until then, don't forget to like us on Facebook. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. We're Ones of the Force. Force of Others be with you. Good night.